It's the Kids Summer Takeover. Yeah, this is our show tonight.
Well, Rick, it looks like this week we're turning the tables a little because the future of fishing is taking over.
That's right, Bree. We've got a live studio audience packed with young anglers, special guests, and plenty of surprises.
So grab the family because the kids show on the Florida Insider Fishing Report starts when?
Now!
Woo!
Welcome to the Florida Insider Fishing Report, presented by Yamaha.
This is the Florida Insider Fishing Report Kids Edition, from our family to yours. Welcome to one of our favorite shows of the year. Today we're celebrating the memories, traditions, and adventures that come from sharing the water with the next generation. And speaking of next generation, Rick, my own kids, Mia and Leo, love to get out on the water, whether it's catching mahi, like we did on Mother's Day, which was so much fun, simple snorkeling, or diving for lobster and scallops. And I know you've also shared the gift of the outdoors with yours for years.
Absolutely. You know, when the boys were young as well as old, we still to this day love going fishing. You know, whether we going snook fishing or tarpon fishing, fly fishing, whether we're offshore, we certainly really love being together in the boat. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Being in the outdoors is very special. Okay, well, in addition to our kiddos and the parents in the house, we're also happy to have our friends from IGFA, Casa Villa Lodge, and Captains Mike Holliday and Ron Houston with us over at the CCA Workbench. Hey, gentlemen. How's it going over there?
Dig it. This is our favorite show. This is the one we want to be here for. It's really the next generation. And these kids are enthusiastic. They soak everything up like a sponge.
And for me, it's always a pleasure being here. I enjoy taking kids fishing, and it brings back a lot of memories from when I was brought up with my parents, and they took me fishing.
Well, we're happy to have you all here. All right, well, I think it's time to get this party started. So, from first fish to family traditions, the lithium battery power Northeast region is a great place to introduce young anglers to the sport that we love so much. So, Tommy, why don't you go ahead and get us started?
Hey, Bree, I think Mia's coming for your job. That intro was fantastic.
It was
great job,
great,
Mia.
right? I know.
Hey, kids, everybody. I've got a lot of kids. I feel like I have as many that are in the studio right now. But it's always so much fun to have the kiddos on the boat. And we have a ton of different fishing opportunities for them here in the Northeast region. You really don't even need a boat to get the kids on some fish. The beach, it's a great place to take the kids fishing because you can take a swim, you could have a sand castle or a snack break, throw a Frisbee around whenever you need to. I found it usually makes for a much more relaxed and a good time, no matter if you're on the boat or at the beach. If you have some other activities available for the kids other than just fishing, at least for the little ones. And I don't mean busting out the cell phone or iPad. Leave that stuff at home. But another great spot to take the kids fishing are all the local fishing piers, which are very kid-friendly. There's quite a few public parks that are on the water as well, both in the salt and the freshwater. And another great way to get kids involved in fishing is to join one of the fishing clubs that we have here in the region. There's the Ancient City Game Fish Association, the Flagler Sport Fishing Club, the Jacksonville Offshore Sport Fishing Club. Those are just a few of them. All those clubs, they're really involved with the kids and the fishing. They have clinics and fishing tournaments throughout the year just for the kids, so check them out. My favorite fish, the redfish, it's such a great fish to get the kids hooked into, and you can catch them from just about anywhere there's some salt water. If you're looking to bend a rod this weekend, it's a great time to get out there with your kids and catch some of those redfish. Low tide, it's right around lunchtime. You can let the kids sleep in a little bit and hit that outgoing tide. It's the perfect time to fish the creek bends for those redfish. Speaking of redfish and kids, I've got a picture here. My buddy Captain Billy Pettigrew, he sent me this picture of Gabe with his mom. That's his first ever redfish that he caught while fishing with Captain Billy right near Ponce Inlet. He looks, how stoked he looks. It's awesome.
He looks great.
All right, man, the trout bite has also been very consistent this week throughout the region. There's an absolute ton of schoolie-sized trout around. Hey, and since we're talking about kids this week, this is another fantastic opportunity to get the kids on some really fun fish. Rig up a simple live shrimp, put it on that shrimp on a 3/0 Eagle Claw circle hook, put it about 2 to 3 foot under a float, cast it up current of your favorite shell bank or run out. You're gonna find some trout on the outgoing tide. Now, if topwater is your thing, it's a great weekend to get out at first light. fish the grass edges on that high outgoing water. The tried and true Berkeley Jaywalker, like Rick's holding there, the 120, has been great this week for trout and the redfish as well. Now, on some mornings, we have been switching it up to the smaller Jaywalker 100. There's some areas where there's some small baits, some little tiny mullets swimming around, and that matches those mullet perfect. It's also a good idea to sometimes downsize that plug a little if it's really calm out, like I'm hoping it's going to be this weekend. Now, we've also been doing well with the Gulp Turbo Shrimp under a cork or...
Did we lose him? All right. So we'll keep going until we get him back. He said that they will also throw on the snappers. We're on trout actually still. The turbo shrimp is what he's using. He had a photo of Randy sent in a picture of Kaylin with a nice trout that she recently caught in Flagler Beach. Going offshore, he got mangrove snappers with all the hype is over the red snappers in the last couple weeks. Seems like people are talking about the killer mangrove bites. We should have this weekend, the new moon this weekend, we'll have the mangrove snappers schooled up and spawning in 120 feet and deeper. He spoke to a couple of his snapper experts and they tell him that they've been doing some chumming with mangoes up to using chunks of sardine and pogies. Get the fish up to in the water column and chum with just a little bit a piece floated back with a small circle hook, a 3-0, and those mangroves are running 6 to 8 pounds with some bigger ones. Tommy, tell me about the kingfish, bud.
Yeah, man, sorry about that. The kingfish bite's been pretty solid this week throughout the region. The beach fish, they're becoming more plentiful, and there's been some big fish caught offshore the last couple of weeks. Now, the usual slow troll into the pogies has been the go-to both along the beach and offshore. On the beach, look for areas holding bait in that 30 to 50 foot range. North of the Volano Inlet, St. Augustine's been a hot spot, as well as south of the Mayport Inlet in Jacksonville. Look for the beach fishing to heat up even more over the next couple of weeks, and especially as we head towards the next full moon. And I've got one last picture here, guys. My good buddy Dave Gill, he sent me this picture of his niece Rebecca and his nephew Derek with a nice king they caught trolling the beach, and that's always fun with the kids.
Always. Thank you so much for starting us off this week, Tommy. We're gonna go ahead and take a look at the hot spots from the Northeast region. My man Tommy says inshore redfish and trout on the last couple hours of the outgoing tide in the deeper creek bends. Fish with a live shrimp or a Gulp Turbo Shrimp on an 1/8 or a 1/4 ounce jig head and bounce it through the holes, guys. And then offshore, kingfish both offshore, on the wrecks, on the reefs, as well as on the beach. Slow troll pogies in 30 to 50 feet along the beach around the areas that is holding bait.
All right, well, with support from friends like Yamaha Pure Fishing and Florida Fishing Products, today's show is all about the next generation of anglers, and we're fortunate to have one of our very own storytelling anglers right here in the studio. Here's Ronnie Houston with the latest from the Phillips Southwest region. Go for it, Ronnie.
Well, you know, Team Species, kids fishing, it's a pleasure being here. You know, I want to keep it really simple. Two important tools for taking kids fishing is going to be patience and simplicity. The techniques I would recommend are freelining live baits and using cut baits, but the key is going to be using circle hooks. And the reason why is, with the angler, all the angler's going to have to do is wait for the rod tip to bend and just start reeling, and the circle hook would do the job. Another technique is going to be simple: bright colored visual noise-making corks. You can use it along with the circle hook. Once the cork goes down, it gives them a visual downtime, it gives them time to reel, but then also the circle hook will also hook the fish. Other methods are going to be simple as they get a little older and start figuring out. Bucktails tip with shrimp, or your soft-scented Berkeley Gulp shrimps on a jig head, and paddle tails will also help them improve their casting and retrieving. And this week's picture is from a buddy of mine, Chance Singletary. Every time he gets a chance to, he takes his kids fishing.
Tell me about the redfish, Ronnie.
You know, the redfish, whether it's in the northern end of the region or the southern, plenty of opportunity to catch redfish both north and south. Pine Island Sound area working a pattern though, along independent islands and shorelines using live pinfish, mullet, and cut baits. I strongly suggest the mid to high tides. Here's what I want you to do. Toss your bait under the mangroves, wait about 10 minutes in the area you're in. If nothing happens, move up about 20 yards, repeat the process. Sooner or later, you're going to start catching fish, and when you catch fish, that's going to tell you where they're staging. To the south, mangrove shorelines with some type of oyster bottom. You're going to work the same pattern. Also, low water in both areas, potholes, troughs, and edges. using your Berkeley Jaywalkers, gold spoons, and soft-scented Berkeley Gulp on an 1/8 ounce jig head. And this picture this week is of another gentleman who loves to take kids fishing, John Adams, up to the north end, up in the Punta Gorda area, always taking the kids fishing.
Let's go offshore, Buck.
So offshore, you know, red snapper just opened up last week. Both Captain Tanner Ryson and Captain Davis Olson are really hitting it hard in that 160 to 250 foot range for the red snappers with good success. As long as the weather cooperates, these guys are running 37 to 40 something foot boats. Those guys are getting out there. But while you're also out there, you'll have the opportunity to catch a variety of mutton and groupers are being caught. Both captains telling me right now with the good current, the fish are chewing and limits are coming quick. Your slower tides, you might have to work for it, but still getting limits. Live and cut baits on the bottom, so make sure, like I always tell you, have a variety. The fish can be really picky. Figure out what they're eating, alternate the baits, and sooner or later you'll catch a limit. Last species is going to be the mangrove snappers. You know, this year I've really been talking about the mangrove snappers a lot. Why? Because there's good quality mangrove snappers being caught a lot shallower in that 70 to 110 foot range. So you can't get out there for the red snappers, good sized mangrove snappers. Structure is going to be the key. Also, chumming them up with box chum and live pilchers to get them away from the structure, and you want to bring them up higher in the water column. Now, these fish are going to be stingy and leader shy. Long leaders, 10 to 15 foot, 20 to 25 pound fluorocarbon. You can either flatline or just add a little bit of weight, or you can use 1/8 to 1/4 ounce jig heads. Once the fish rise up, all you got to do is drop back small cut baits. And I got another picture this week of a quality mangrove. That's why I suggest the mangroves. On a mission fishing out of Naples with a nice quality mangrove.
Thank you so much, Ronnie. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the Punta Gorda, Inglewood Beach hot spots. Ronnie says that the tarpon, nighttime fishing the bridge spans from Charlotte Harbor to Fort Myers Beach, and juvenile tarpon along the intercoastal docks and seawalls with the lights. And then offshore, permit, wrecks, artificial reefs throughout the region using live crabs, Bree. That's what we got.
All right, well, coming up, we have more Captain Ronnie Houston. He's joining us at the CCA workbench with some simple rigs and techniques designed to help young anglers build confidence on the water. And then we'll stay right here in the studio as Mike Holliday shares what's happening around the Alto Coven East region. We'll be right back. Thank you so much for I'm sorry, I just sat on you.
The Florida Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by Yamaha. Reliability starts here. Fenwick. Feel everything. ACR. Less search, more rescue. Penn. Let the battle begin. Casa del Golfo. Catch trophy fish and ride waves in our beachfront paradise. Berkeley Pro Spec Chrome. And Daiquiri Deck. Food, drinks, friends.
Well, we're here at the CCA workbench. Time for rigs and techniques, and I got my good buddy Captain Ron Houston from the Phillips Southwest region. You know what, Ronnie? Let's just talk about kids and what we're gonna need. So let's start off with a rod and reel that you think would be a good investment when it comes to kids.
So when we talk about rods and reels, you know, we want to talk about quality, but we also want to talk about price point. We don't want to get too cheap, but we want something with some quality. And, you know, Fenwick's come out with a nice quality line of rods. This new Eagle is a great rod. And what you want to do is you want to try to combine it with maybe a 2,500 or 3,000 Fierce or something similar to that. So like I say, quality is going to be the key. You don't want to be too cheap, but then again, you don't have to spend a lot of money.
Well, the point is, guys, it's really important. When they have a pretty good quality rod and reel combo, it's balanced. It's going to feel right in their hand. So you're not asking them to learn how to cast or learn how to fight a fish with an inferior product. So go ahead and invest in something that's not going to break the bank, but it is going to allow them to excel so that when it's time to catch that big fish and they get it on, they have the product to do it.
Fish of a lifetime, smile on the face, quality product.
All right, so let's talk about circle hooks and live baits, Ronnie. What's so important about circle hooks?
So I strongly suggest just start them out the simplest way. One good thing about a circle hook, okay, live shrimp, live pilchards, live pinfish, or even cut baits. One thing about the circle hook is it's really simple to use. All the child has to do, keep the rod up taut. Once you see this action, the tip of the rod start to bend, the circle hook is going to do the work for them.
Right.
It's going to do the work for them. It's going to make it really simple to bring in the fish. But there's also another way. You can keep them enticed. You can keep them going where they're not bored. I strongly suggest the noise-making cork. Bass Assassin makes a nice noise-making cork. So you got the beads on there making noise. The children will be zoned in on that. But then also, two key things here I like about using a cork and a circle hook. Visual. Once the cork goes down, they know they have a fish. The tip's going to bend. There's going to be tension on the rod. The circle hook is going to do the job for them. So there's a couple good tools you can use to keep it really simple for them to catch plenty of fish, and it keeps them going.
You know what I love also about this is when they have that fish on and he's up there on the top and he's shaking, it just adds to it, the environment. I mean, they're like, oh man, you know, whether he's jumping or not jumping, he's thrashing around, makes all the noise. It gets more chaotic for him and more exciting.
Another thing too is a simple thing to do with the cork. They can get some distance, whether they have wind or not. They'll get distance where they can start learning how to cast at a good distance. You can also use artificials. A simple jig head with a soft plastic shrimp, or something like a Berkeley Gulp shrimp.
Something that's scented.
Right, scented. So when you're clacking the cork, okay, they come up. I like the chartreuse tail of the Bass Assassin. There's something visual underwater, but with the Berkeley Gulp shrimp, you also have a scent added to it, and it adds to them that fish triggering off and them catching a fish.
That's for sure. All right, what else do we want to talk about, Ronnie?
Well, a couple other things too is when they're using the cork, we talk about cadence. Okay, there's a couple simple ways. If you take the kids out in the boat or there's a lot of wind, you can simply throw the cork out there. They don't have to retrieve it. I like to retrieve a cork. You know, you hit it 1 or 2 times, let it pause. Hit it 1 or 2 times, let it pause. Nothing happens, go to 3 or 4 times, let it pause. If the fish start hitting it when you hit it 3 or 4 times, that's the key that gives you the answer to you want to clack it 3 or 4 times for the fish to take the bait.
Now, when the kids are in the boat, a lot of times, you know, you want to throw one out this way and one out that way so that you're covering the full spectrum. If you both throw the lures downwind, then you end up not moving the cork very far. So throw it out to the side, or what do you want to do?
Actually, you want to throw it downwind. But, you know, when you take kids out, especially the younger kids, after a while they end up getting tired. If they can't do the casting and the boat's drifting, simply throw the cork out of the back of the boat, keep tension on the line. As maybe mom and dad are up fishing in the front, the kids are in the back. You don't need to reel, cast and retrieve. All you do is leave the cork out there. Boom, 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 boom. We catch plenty of fish doing it that way too.
All right, is there one other little thing I want to teach you guys too? Look, if you notice here, the safest place to be is right here beside each other. And the reason why that is because we're under the arc of the rod. So whenever you're worrying about where to be in the boat, if you stand shoulder to shoulder, a 7-foot rod's gonna put the hook back there. If you cast sidearm, it's gonna put it out there. So keep that in mind, guys. Be shoulder to shoulder instead of 7 foot away. If he's 7 foot away, look what happens. He's now in harm's way. Keep that in mind.
Correct.
Good job over here tonight, Midnight. I appreciate everything you do.
Always a pleasure being here.
All right, Bree,
Well,
where are we
gentlemen,
going?
you covered a lot. All right, in the Alta Equipment East region, taking kids fishing can be as simple as having them help you catch bait or even enrolling them in week-long fishing camps. And here in the studio is Captain Mike Holliday. Mike Holliday, I know you know kids, so let's talk kids.
I fish a lot of kids.
You fish a
the
lot
key
of
is to make it fun.
Yeah.
And don't overthink it. Simple stuff that provides a lot of action, like sea trout, jackrabbit, bluegills, pinfish, whatever it takes. Even if it's something as simple as just running to the beach and letting them catch sand fleas, toss them out for whiting and croaker, or go to a local pond with some bread, toss them in the water and use it to catch bluegill and catfish. And there's also some really good kids programs in the area. The IGFA offers a School of Sport Fishing program in Palm Beach and Stewart locations. There's a School of Fish Academy, which offers summer programs in Palm Beach County. And then in Stewart, Captain James Cronk offers the Stewart Fishing Academy Summer Camp, as well as Stewart Angler has a summer fishing camp. Just keep it light, keep it fun, add a lot of praise to the kids, take them swimming, make it a day of it. When they get tired, take them home. I got a really cool photo of Sawyer Carlson with a nice snook that he caught off the beach just south of the St. Lucie Inlet. He got that fish on a live sand perch.
Yes, he sure did.
Now,
What else?
The other thing, mid-June, prime time for tarpon in our region. There's been a good bite going on at all the inlets, as well as in places like Big and Little Mud Creeks and the Loxahatchee River. The tarpon migration on the beach is also in full swing. Places like Peck's Lake and Vero Cove are holding fish at dawn and dusk. In the inlets, the outgoing tide's been best, particularly in the deep inlets like Lake Worth and Fort Pierce Inlet. And you can float a live mullet out the inlet on the outgoing tides, but really the best action is going to be after dark in those areas. In the rivers, it's a dawn bite, slow trolling live mullet or pilchards, or soaking a dead mullet on the bottom. And for the beach fish, live crabs, thread fins, pilchards, and that purple and black colored fly is going to be the way to go. Average tarpon is going to be 40 to 90 pounds. Got a cool photo from Captain Chris Britton. He sent me the shot of a nice tarpon one of the kids got in the Indian River. He got that on a live mullet.
You got any kids offshore, Mike?
We do, and look, man, we're seeing the first good push of summer sailfish. They tend to travel in small schools of 3 to 6 fish with one really big fish in the mix. The fish are spread out throughout the region. Best actions around the bait schools in 60 to 90 feet of water on the southern end of my region, from Boynton Inlet up to about Juneau Beach. You can target the fish with everything from a trolled ballyhoo to a slow trolled or drifted live sardine or goggle eye or pilchards. If you hook a fish, reel in a line, toss a bait at the hook fish, because they often have another fish dogging it. Average sailfish right now, 40 to 50 pounds. And I got a shot of 17-year-old Charlie DeBay with a nice summer sailfish he got in 70 feet of water. That fish ate a live threadfin. The other bite, the mixed bag snapper bite, mangrove, mutton, and yellowtail snapper has been on fire the last 2 weeks. Good action coming in 65 to 90 feet of water off the high bar, the 80-foot ledge off Jupiter, the 6-mile reef, the 12-eye reef. Really anywhere there's good bottom right now is holding fish. Anchor up, chum with ground chum, chum balls, or juvenile pilchards, bring them up in the water column. You can fish pilchards, thread fins, or sardines, live or dead. Even put them out on like a half-ounce jig head or just a standard slip sinker rig, or just free line them back. Average snapper is going to be 1 to 4 pounds, with muttons in the mix averaging like 4 to 10. And Captain Charlie Stu sent me this, he's captain of Jupiter, he sent me this shot of a nice yellowtail. They got 82 feet of water on a piece of squid.
All right, Mike. Speaking of hot, I know the bass fishing's been really good. Tell me about it.
Dude, the Kissimmee Toho chain is fishing small right now. A lot of fish have pushed out onto the offshore hydrilla lines, and really in both lakes. In Kissimmee, the hydrilla mats with nearby shell bottom off North Cove and off Lemon Point, they're seeing really good school fish action at first light. Topwater plugs, white spinnerbaits, lipless crankbaits, that's all working on the school fish. And then in Toho, the school bass bite is going on to about 8 a.m. Small topwaters and flukes in the shad colors have been the baits there. And as the sun gets up, it's time to switch to a Carolina rig, black and blue tail colored Bass Assassin Little Tapper, or a tap out worm rig, Senko style. Work the openings in the hydrilla near Little Grassy Island and Browns Point. Don't overlook the school bite in Shingle Creek in the afternoon rains. 20 fish morning with average bass 1 to 3 pounds right now.
Thank you so much, Hollywood. You did a great job. As always, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the TH Marine hot spots from the East region. He said spotted sea trout around the bait schools at Bear Point, topwater plugs, soft jerk baits, live pinfish under a popping cork is going to catch those trout offshore. The afternoon blackfin tunas in 150 to 300 feet of water off of the Breakers Hotel. Drift and chum with live pilchards.
What do you have there, Rick?
You know, Bree, every one of these babies, including the big babies, all the adults.
We're all big babies here.
Guess what? Everybody got a shirt because of Renew Promotions.
Thank you, Renew Promotions.
One of our new sponsors. And guess what? We'll be talking about them quite a bit the next
Yes, we will.
15 weeks.
We already talked about tote bags and make great
That's
tote
it.
bags. All right, well, come fish the second annual Lagoonian Tournament on Mosquito Lagoon, hosted by Bahio Sunglasses. This one-day catch and release event benefits the Marine Discovery Center in New Smyrna Beach, helping support lagoon restoration and youth education programs. Plus, word is the grand prize this year might even be a car. You didn't hear it from me. Oh my goodness, what do you have here, Rick? You have a t-shirt?
This is the grandbaby, Riley Taylor. Riley Taylor has my baby.
Oh, can you give pop kisses?
Kiss.
Give kisses. Oh, so close.
Oh,
Yay.
thank you.
This is the grand reveal of the grandbaby, everybody.
Yes,
he
it is.
had to go get her. Ms. Riley. All right, still ahead, Jim Ross takes us to the Central East region, where there are plenty of opportunities for young anglers to get hooked on fishing Then we'll also spend some time with our special guest from IGFA. Then it's off to the Star Trek Central and West region with Captain Jeff Page. And if you love lobster season, then you won't want to miss our next live studio audience show on July 22nd. We'll be talking tips, techniques, and everything you need to know for a successful season. Sign up today at FloridaInsiderFishingReport.com and join us live.
The Florida Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by Power Pole, Total Boat Control, Berkeley, Your Fish, Our Science, Bahio, Blue Light Blocking, Radically Clear Polarized Fishing Sunglasses, Penn, Let the Battle Begin, and Kubota, your local dealer of choice.
As you can see, joining me here from the IGFA is Lisa Morris. You know, Lisa, IGFA's had kids camps for several years, over 20 now.
Over 20, yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about what that entails. So why don't we tell everybody about the kids camps at IGFA?
Okay, yeah, we host week-long fishing camps, and we start with the basics. So Monday and Tuesday, we teach the kids how to tie fishing knots, how to put on their bait, how to rig their own rod, how to cast it, and then we take them actually fishing in different parks in Broward County, Miami-Dade, and we've even expanded up into Martin, Palm Beach, and currently there's a camp going on in Hillsborough County right now. So we take them to different parks, do some shore fishing, and we always finish the week on the boat.
Wow. So this is a camp where the parents drop the child off at what time in the day?
Camp starts at 9, so the parents drop them off in the morning, and then we have them until parents pick them up until at 4 o'clock. So we have them all day jam-packed with activities. We keep them busy, keep them learning, and keep having fun.
So can you tell me, besides teaching them some knots, when they go fishing, do they go fishing on a head boat, or how does that work?
Well, our main goal is to teach them to be self-sufficient anglers. So all week long, they practice their skills on land, and then they go out on a head boat, charter boats here in Miami-Dade County. We go out with Captain Wayne with the reward every Friday. It's always a great trip and a great way to end the week.
Sounds perfect. I'm sure there's a lot of people watching, Lisa, that maybe they're like myself with a corporation, that maybe they would be interested in helping in some form or another. How would they be involved, or how could they get involved?
That would be great. We're always looking for guest speakers to teach the kids different things about the industry, different careers about the industry too, in fishing and boating. So you can always email me or email our department. It's education@igfa.org, or simply go check out our website.
Tell me what that website is.
It's igfa.org.
Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you helping us build the next generation of anglers. It's really a job well done.
We absolutely do. Thank you so much, Lisa. All right, well, you don't need a big boat or a fancy game plan to create a lifelong angler. And our next captain knows that some of the best memories are made close to home. Here's Captain Jim Ross with the latest from the Central East region. What's up, Jim?
Oh, it looks like a fun time there. I wish I was there, but maybe next year I can be there. But I'll tell you what, all you got to do is look at your local pond or little watering hole that's local to your particular neighborhood. And that's really all the farther you have to take your kids to just really make a whole lot of memories. These little bodies of water are some of the great places that you can take kids to get their first fish or their biggest bass or the most bluegill they've ever caught by a human being. If you know, a child's mind likes to work sometimes. But you know what? The basic is you just get out there and get to the fishing pond, and these local spots are absolutely fantastic places. Kids can learn how to put, the right amount of spit on the bread so that they make the perfect dough ball, or how to check the grass so they don't sit in an ant mound, or the best stone for skipping across the water. There's so many life lessons that can be learned at your local bank or pond. So just get your kid out there, get them fishing, and sooner rather than later, because you want to start making memories with them today, not waiting for tomorrow or the next day. Now, one of the things that I really like to do is to get kids out on my boat, and I've got a nice shot here of some kids that we had on the boat the other day. This was Sam and his brother Max, and just catching trout is an absolutely fun way to spend the day for most kids.
It sure is. What else you got this week, Jimmy?
Well, I'll tell you what, Rick, the snook are really great this week. The mangrove branches and the roots are throughout the region are holding plenty of snook right now. Now, most of the snook are being caught by throwing live baits. So mullet, pilchards, and shrimp are our 3 top live baits right now. The closer you are to the inlets, the more pilchards you're going to want to use. The farther away from the inlets, the mullet and the shrimp are working better. But you can also use soft plastic lures like the Savage Shrimp, the Assassin jerk baits, and small topwater plugs. They're all working really good, using them at the appropriate time of the day. For snook at the inlets, you want to try using pinfish, croakers, or spots. And if you can get some menhaden, that's always a really good bait as well. Our average snook is running 20 to 34 inches at this time, and I've got a nice picture of one here that we got at the jetty at Canaveral not too long ago.
Boy, that's a beautiful fish, dude. Tell me what else is happening.
Rick, offshore we got crevalle jack, and some of the big jacks are starting to move into the Central East region. Right now, those fish are running 20 to 30 pounds, and they're becoming much more common. So get ready as you see the bait pods start to show up along the beach. Between Melbourne Beach and Playa Linda Beach this week, you're definitely going to see jacks around them. They're smashing 5 to 8 inch jerk baits, especially topwater plugs early and late. Suspending plugs, large sharp plastics like the Artemis shad that Assassin makes is another really, really good one. Work them around the edges of the bait pods. And, when you find those bait pods, if they're real dark in color and the shape is continually shifting around, those bait fish are trying to run away from the predators. And so those are the ones that you want to target the most if you can, because they're going to have big fish like this big beach jack we've got a picture of here hanging around and beating up on those bait pods.
Man, what else you got? One more to go, big boy.
My favorite one, Rick, and one of your favorite ones too, the Silver King, and they have arrived on the Space Coast. We finally got some decent numbers of tarpon that are migrating up and down the beaches and also inside of our lagoons. Now, the lagoon fish have been hit or miss. Most of them are running from 50 to 100 pounds, but you get a pin slammer like a 5500 with some 20 to 40 pound class line and like a pin carnage rod. Or if you're fishing on the beach, you can get away with a little bit more, 60, sometimes even 80 pound leader. And, most of those fish are going to run. They're medium-sized fish. They're like I said, they're 60 to 100 pounds, 50 to 100 pounds, but we're going to have plenty of those bigger ones showing up in the next couple of days. And I've got a nice tarpon lip grab here at the boat side for those of you guys and gals that enjoy chasing those fish up and down the beach. That's an average size fish. You're looking at about a 60, 65 pound fish.
Perfect form, Jim.
That's a perfect one to have jumping all over the place and raising all kinds of heck.
Oh, yeah.
And getting that beautiful picture. Thank you so much, Jimmy. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the hot spots from your region. He says that inshore, your local lake or pond for bluegills and bass. Use small jigs or dough balls for the bluegills and live shiners or a variety of bass assassin soft plastics for the bass. And then offshore, the gag groupers, they're striking live blue runners on the reef in 180 to 250 feet of water. I want to tell you a trick. An 86 pound black grouper, the biggest one I ever caught.
Yes.
That blue runner he's talking about for bait, take your pliers and cut his tail off so that he's got lots of vibration, but he can't run away.
Perfect. That's a good tip, everyone. Listen up.
Trim the propeller.
Trim it. All right, our Star Trek Central West Region Captain Jeff Page had some first fishing memory moments of his own, so let's see how he's getting the next generation hooked. Hi, Jeff. How you doing?
Hey, everybody. One thing's for sure, in the Startron Central West region, we have plenty of fishing opportunities for the kids. You know what? It all starts from land. We have plenty of piers, jetties, lakes, ponds that kids can get to by bicycle or along with their parents and be introduced to a simple, easy fishing pattern. I remember when I was a kid, I started with using cut pieces of hot dog as bait. And then I graduated to live shrimp. Then I learned how to throw a cast net and buy lures. And the next thing I knew, I was spending all my money at the tackle store. Cool thing is, most of our local tackle stores have introductory cast nets, introductory rods and reels that won't break the bank too bad. But you know what works great for kids fishing nowadays? Tactics of little kayaks, john boats, inshore and backcountry, to start so that they're not out there in the open Gulf getting beat up. But nothing beats that. And then there's all types of tournaments that kids can fish, like the CCA Star Tournament. The way I see it, this whole season, the Star Tournament is dedicated to the kids with not only scholarships, but the prizes. And then we have some big local tournaments that have junior divisions and kids divisions, and then the kids can fish with the adults as much. Being summer, there's a lot of summer camps going on right now. To the north, we have one up around Ruskin that Jeremy Himes runs, and then we have one in Sarasota that R.C. Gilliland, and I'm pretty sure there's one down in the south part of the region in Charlotte County. No matter how you slice it, we have a lot of activities for kids when it comes to fishing in our region. A photo tonight, those two boys are all grown up now, but that was on the bow of my boat, and those boys love fishing so much that one of them, I think, wants to be a fishing guy now. That's Dylan and Alec Schaefer. Their son, their grandkids, a British Mike, who I know you remember, Rick.
Aw,
I certainly
so
do. All right.
Perfect.
All right,
What else you
moving
got?
on, snook. Last week I talked about redfish over the snook, but this week I got to go back to the line sider. It's been really good, a lot of snook along the beaches. I always talk about take your time, run your trolling motor down the beach, you're going to see them. It's crystal clear. Any structure, any little trough, any little patch of moss grass, it doesn't even have to be grass, one out of the sand, and you're going to see these snook. Stay off them. Put your poles down if you can. If not, use your anchor lock mode. If that don't work, put your anchor out. Or better yet, get out, beat your boat, and come down the beach and walk up on them. Live bait, it's tough to beat a live filter, but pinfish work as well. And then if you're into throwing lures, that Berkeley stick shad 114 in the pilchard pattern, floating or suspending, is tough to beat. I suggest using 30-pound fluorocarbon. But you know, Ronnie Houston always says using 40 is the way to go. My snook picture tonight, that's Canyon Caps, son of Stacy Caps and their cousin Ford from South Carolina.
Nice. Let's go offshore, Paige.
Red grouper, you know, I thought it was all done with the red grouper, but the guys still are catching them really consistent in that 90 to 110 foot range. And they've been having no trouble getting their limit along with the red snapper. Cut bait, live bait, doesn't seem to matter. They're eating both. I suggest using 2 to 3 ounces of weight. A 9-0 Trocor circle hook is a good starting point. And you might want to bump down if the fish are a little smaller. My red grouper pictures of Happy Angler that was fishing with Bo Johnson down the south part of the region aboard Boxum. And my last species, red snapper, can't go offshore without mentioning them because everybody wants them. And this short season, we've had perfect weather. So same thing, 110 to 140 foot. It's the same setup as the red grouper, and they seem to be biting the dead bait better. All right, my last picture, another one with Captain Bo, another happy young angler with a big American red snapper.
Thank you so much for all the pictures this week, Captain Page. Remember, guys, we're going to be at the Daiquiri Deck on Thursday night, as well as CB's doing some stuff for Berkeley Fishing. So he says the Daiquiri Deck hotspots inshore, tarpon, drift fish, the afternoon outgoing tides in Boca Grande and Egmont Pass with live free line pass grabs for the poons, and then offshore, the red snappers. The anglers, they're getting their limits in 110 to 140 feet of water over the hard bottom areas, holding good bait schools. Make sure that you cut the thread fins, put them on a standard bottom rig. It's getting that job done.
All right, Rick, well, while you're napping and getting your makeup done, one of the best parts of our kids' show happened before we ever took our seats in the studio. Earlier, we took the party over to Studio B, where the kids had so much fun. They enjoyed snacks, they enjoyed games. Let's take a look at what the party had for us. All right, so this is where the kids will pick up their backpacks, their shirts, from your new promotions that they so gracefully donated, and their cool hats. They get a choice. We've got stickers galore for their buckets or wherever they want to put them. And then we move on to the rest of the booths. Do you like to fish?
Yeah.
Clayton, what is the Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation doing to help the next generation get involved with fishing?
So we've created a slew of lessons, videos, just everything that we can bring into classrooms, that teachers can bring into their own classrooms to get kids salty and to bring the ocean into their classrooms.
Look who it is. It's Ronnie Houston.
We are IGFA. We keep track of world records out there. So if anybody thinks they caught a world record, they come through us. So this year we brought a game called What's on Your Plate. So they are actually fishing for some of our fish cards, and on the bottom it says what the fish is, how big it is, and they have to look up the regulation to see if they could keep it or if they have to release that fish.
I love fishing.
We are here to teach the kids some of the things that the CCA does. We have the oyster gardens. We have over here the artificial reefs. We talk to them about the contest going on,
CCA
the
Star.
CCA Star, and they can sign up for that.
We're at the Bajío Tattoo Station, where Mike is telling kids that they're gonna have tattoos on them for
170 days.
170 days. I thought he said years. Mike, you're with Bajío, and we love Bajío sunglasses. How does Bajío get involved with the kids?
There is no age limit on eye protection, no matter what. Sunshine's cumulative. You want to get them in good glasses. You don't have to buy ours, but buy good glasses on your kids. Start them out young.
So we're over here, we're continuing the dancing, we're snacking, we're taking pictures with fish, we're knot tying, we're lassoing, we're having fun over here. Back to you guys in the studio.
Whoa, final catch.
So yeah, we had a little bit of fun, Rick, what can we say? But you know, none of this would have been possible without so many of our sponsors, AFCO, Zachary Duck, Starbright, Bajío. Those are just a few of some of the sponsors that have helped us fill the bags and do all the goodies for these kids. It's been great.
You do a good job of going in there and putting that package together. What people don't realize is that happens the 45 minutes before the show actually goes on the air. So we have a whole team of people editing that after you shoot it.
As we
Good
do
job.
it right now. Exactly. It was so much fun. It's easy to do. All right. Well, up next, we'll check out some of the latest gear for fishing families. We're talking marine new products at the CCA Workbench. Then we're off to the Northwest region where Mike Anderson has a report that's sure to inspire the next generation of anglers. We'll be right back. No, thanks.
The Florida Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by Skeeter Performance Fishing Boats. Eat, sleep, fish. Alta Equipment Company, where uptime matters. Ameritrail. Load, launch, relax. Discover Crystal River, Florida. Bass Assassin and Saltwater Assassin. Best lures, period. And Black Oak LED. Never be left in the dark.
Wow. You know what? It's time for the Taco Marine new products. Here's the CCA Workbench.
Yes, it is.
And so I think I'll just go ahead and get started. You know what? We've got Gulp. And the Gulp for these babies, I love this because these are the strips.
Yes.
And it makes it so easy, Bree. You can put a whole strip on, you can put it on a spoon, you can put it on a hook, whether you're beach fishing, whether you're fishing off of a pier, whether you may be fishing a little bit more advanced and you want to tip a jig. Mm-hmm. What this allows us to do is we can cut this in little pieces or big pieces, however we want to do it. It comes in a variety of 5 different colors. It's called Surf Bite Strips. And
it's tough, it's durable.
It's
so you can
really
put it on
tough
and
and durable. It has all the attributes of the scent infused stuff within inside of the Gulp.
Right, and when you're done with it, you can put it back in the bag and save it for later.
That's correct. And seal it back because it comes in a special Ziploc bag.
Exactly.
We can go to berkeley-fishing.com to find out more. The fish cannot resist it.
5 different colors, everyone.
I mean, Gulp sells itself. It's
Exactly.
really simple. It's been out a long, long time.
Yes, it has. All right, can we bring in our beautiful model, please, for Brittany Hart Designs? Thank you so much,
my
Mommy Santana.
goodness.
This is baby Riley. As we all know, this is Rick's new granddaughter. She's so beautiful. She's wearing Brittany Hart Designs. So this is 95% bamboo. Obviously, the babies love it. She's wearing the peplum set. You got this, Rick. I know
got
you
it.
do. It's the most wiggly thing we've had at the workbench. All right, so it has cooling properties. It's hypoallergenic. As you can see, they make many different designs with many different prints. This is your snook print here with a little dress. It's so soft. Rick, do you feel it? I mean, she's on it, but it is just like, it's beautiful. My kids have a few of these and they love them. So this is our snook. We have your tarpon. We've got the permit. This is the redfish, and there's PJs. Short sleeves, long pants, you name it.
There's toes.
There's toes.
Yes.
These cover the toes. These do cover the toes. She's thought of everything. She is a mama of 3. So Brittany Hart, she just absolutely kills it with this. I think the new prints that are coming, sailfish and mahi. We love those. They're absolutely beautiful in her new catalog here. They're just comfort-driven designs, the quality that lasts, distinct styles, and all of these fish are actually hand-painted, which is really, really cool, so very distinct. And you're doing a great job, Miss Riley, with the toes.
I'll tell you
so
what,
all
Brittany.
the parents out there,
Yeah. So Brittany, I'm gonna tell you this.
run.
You make me some of those tarpon pajamas in Ricky Dicky size.
I think this is your size, actually.
I
These
will
fit.
personally endorse these pajamas throughout the whole world.
You and Riley match now.
Yes. Can you
This is Rick's
imagine?
size.
I could have the same pajamas as my little granddaughter.
You will.
Yeah, and we can
watch
go
out.
for a ride in her new Ferrari.
There we go. Oh,
Yes.
You're coming for my job. You're gonna take everything over, Ms. Riley. All right, well, you go to Brittany Hart Designs to get that, BrittanyHartDesigns.com for all of these beautiful outfits.
This is so good,
And
you know.
are you loving this?
You know why I love this so
Why?
much?
Why do you love
It's
this?
because I get this time without Gigi.
Who's Gigi, Rick?
Gigi is the grandma, Kathy, my wife, and she's a baby hog. She hogs a baby all the time.
She's a baby hog.
She does, but I mean, you know, it's okay.
Well, who wouldn't want to hog this
It's
baby?
okay.
All right. Well, the future of fishing looks bright, especially in the Casa del Golfo Northwest region, where young anglers have no shortage of ways to get involved with Captain Mike Anderson. What's up, Mike?
Hey, love to see that studio filled with all them kiddos, man. That's great. Love having everybody in. So, you know, so many great opportunities in the Northwest regions for kids, both summertime and year-round, to learn more about fishing. Summer fishing camps, they've got them in Pinellas County, Hillsborough County, Citrus County. Many of them feature not only instruction on how to catch and target fish in your area, but also boating safety and conservation as well. And I think it's really important to get the kids involved in conservation early. There's even a summer kayak camp on Tampa Bay that's put on by the American Canoe Association that teaches paddling, fishing, and marine ecology. So we also, you know, we have a ton of high school bass fishing clubs, teams in the region. If you Google Florida Bass Nation, they got a full list of all the high school bass clubs in your area. Now, you know, with so many colleges out there offering scholarships, a lot of these colleges have bass teams now that travel all over the country and compete with all those opportunities. It's a great way to expose the kiddos to that. And, you know, you never know when that little angler out there could be the next Captain Rick Murphy. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, you don't
That
want to
would
be
be
none of that.
something.
It would be something. All right, that's a good little job. I love you for it, baby. Go ahead and tell me about the tarpon inshore.
Let's talk tarpon. It's tarpon time. As we approach this new moon, that new moon's coming up Sunday evening here. That bite from Egmont Key to Homosassa is only going to get better. Right now, along the beaches, it's been really, really good. And as we get closer to Sunday, those fish are going to concentrate in the passes. They're going to feed on that crab flush. We started to get some rain in the region. Them crab flushes have been really, really good. Fish are fired up on that outgoing tide on those big, you know, full moon outgoing, new moon outgoing tide. So dip some crabs, free line them into the tide. It should be game on. If you can dip some of them crabs up, that's what they're going to be feeding on. And, you know, this is my favorite moon phase of the entire tarpon season because they just seem to, you know, right after this time is normally when they tend to go offshore a little bit to spawn. So they usually really have their, you know, feed bag on for this new moon. So if you're fishing in the morning, guys been posting up along the beaches and they've been doing really well. And they've just been posting up, sitting still, letting those fish come to them up and down the beach, fishing with, you know, either live pinfish, live crabs, live threadfin herring. Get them under a cork, just sit still, don't pressure them. If you get out there just before the sun comes up, as that sun comes up, that's usually your best bite in the morning. Guys have been doing really well at that time here, and that'll probably continue for most of this week. I got a good pick here, a real good friend of mine, Captain Trey Rodriguez, with a really nice tarpon he caught right out there on St. Pete Beach, where a lot of them guys have been posting up. It's a good-looking fish, so get out there. It's tarpon season. Take advantage of it while they're here.
Let's go offshore, big man.
Man, red snapper, it's hard not to talk about it. My marina is just covered with guys every morning headed out to catch some big, beautiful fish. So a lot of them being caught. We've had a lot of wind here the last week or so, and that's made it a little bit tough. But what it did was it concentrated a lot of those red snappers. As soon as that wind stopped, a lot of the guys that got out there on those bigger reliefs and pieces, then they had a really, really good bite. So it's really important after the blow, if you can schedule it, get out there on those fish. They got big fish, I was told, being caught in as little as 120 feet. Big live bait seem to be the ticket. They love a big pinfish. That works really well. They also love that cut bait, and as I've been saying the last couple of weeks, that double snell rig on that cut bait seems to double up your hookup rate, so make sure you try to use that as well. My guys also said because of that big wind and the concentration of fish pushing on those big reliefs and kind of stacking up, mangrove snapper, lane snapper, some big red grouper, everything was kind of feeding on those concentrations. So, you find the bait, you find that big concentration right after the blow. If you can get out there, it's going to pay off for sure.
All right, one to go. What do you got? Some permit?
I got permit. We got a permit bite. It's always good this time of year, especially again on this new moon that I love so much. And it's coming later this week. But that bite, from what I'm being told, really fired off this week. A lot of guys fishing wrecks and reefs in 30 to 70 foot of water. I heard 40 foot was the magic depth. They were just stacked in 40 foot all week. So live crabs for me are the best. They certainly eat a live shrimp as well. But the other thing, and I don't know how many other guys do this, but on a lot of those big pieces, especially wrecks where you got a lot of big relief, I like to fish a light drag. You get that bite, let that fish swim out away from that wreck, and when you get him out away from the wreck, follow him. Then you can put some heat on them. I seem to do a little bit better on bigger fish, getting the hook up, doing it that way. So just something to think about. The other thing is, using a light leader. I like a 25 to 30 pound fluorocarbon leader. They're pretty keen on the eyesight, so heavy leader I think shuts down the bite a little bit. The other thing is, I know it's an offshore species, but around the moon here, a lot of these permit will pull into some of the passes in this region. So, if you're out there tarpon fishing, keep your eyes open for some permit on the edges. They'll show up again. They're eating those crabs on that crab flush, so there's pretty good opportunities all the way through this weekend to catch permit both inshore and offshore.
A lot of good tips. Thank you so much, big man. We'll talk to you later. It's time to take a look at the Discover Crystal River hotspots from the Northwest region. He says inshore, triple tail fish the channel markers and the crab trap buoys from Egmont Key north to Clearwater Pass. Live shrimp and small live pilchards, either free line or under small corks, will work well. And then offshore, the cobias, lots of nice cobias being caught from Homosassa north to Cedar Key. Fish the rock piles and the wrecks in 15 to 60 feet of water with live pinfish or frozen sardines. Both are getting great results.
All right, kids, well, if you can't tell, this summer is all about you. The CCA Florida Star Youth Fishing Competition for ages 6 to 17 offers a chance to win a share of more than $150,000 in prizes. The Guy Harvey Foundation Scholarship Division presented by Real Tree Fishing includes 2 $25,000 scholarships and 10 $5,000 scholarships. Plus, the Teen Challenge features a Carolina skiff and a custom Ginu, both powered by Yamaha and rigged with Minn Kota and Power Pole. With most fish, trash division, and random drawing prizes, the competition runs through September 7th. So make sure you get registered and go make those memories. Visit ccaflstar.com for more details. It's time to fish this summer, Rick.
I know. I wonder if we can enter your children and my grandbaby for CCA stuff.
We
have
are
to
going
find
to.
out.
We
have
are.
to find out.
Oh, right.
Because
we're here.
Yeah,
I got it.
Yeah, we kind
All
of
right.
have a relationship.
We gotta ask that question. All right, still ahead. We'll catch up with our friends from Casa Vieja Lodge, then check in with Captain A.D. Raymond in the Southeast region. And from big runs offshore to exciting action close to home, there's something for every angler with newbie dad, Captain Ridge Murphy in the Black Oak LED Keys region. But remember, just scan the QR code to stay connected with everything Florida Insider Fishing Report on Facebook, X, Instagram, our website, and the Captain Rick Murphy YouTube channel. We'll be right back.
The Florida Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by Startron. Start, run, and store with Startron. Berkeley, your fish, our science. CCA Florida, 40 years of protecting Florida's fisheries. The Florida Keys and Key West, come as you are. Murphy's Law Sport Fishing. Book your trip today at murphyslawsportfishing.com. And the IGFA, every fish, every water, every angler since 1939.
Well, as you can see, joining me is the lovely Kristen Salazar and her 4 beautiful girls. From the Casa Vieja Lodge, thank you so much for coming for the wonderful kids show.
Of course.
You've never experienced this craziness.
No, I haven't, but I mean, in home personally, I do all the time.
I know you do. You have a full-blown deal going on there.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit. The last time you were here, We talked about the renovations that were going on in the lodge, and why don't we tell everybody where all that stands?
Well, we finished the renovations. We added 16 additional rooms, a giant pool with a swim-up bar. It's 90,000 gallons. So there's a ton of space for the kids to play on one side, for the adults to hang out on the other side. There's a bridge, so when you come by helicopter now, you're able to land, walk over the bridge, and you're there at home getting ready to go fishing for the next day.
So certainly the rooms. Let's talk a little bit about the rooms, Kristen, the new rooms.
The new rooms are gorgeous. We have adjoining rooms for families. So parents can stay on the one side and the kids can stay in the other. They're oversized king beds, so you can also cuddle with the little ones in bed. And it's great. There's a lot of space now for graduation parties, for 50th birthdays, for 10-year-old birthday parties, which we have for the girls there, and invite all their friends to come down so we can fish and have a great time.
So speaking of the kids, it is summertime. So certainly we can have graduations there, but let's talk a little bit. You guys have some themed tournaments that you guys do in the summer. So tell me about the Sugar Mamas.
We do. We just did the Sugar Mamas tournament for Mother's Day. We went out fishing with the girls. We went into a school of mahi. They caught a bunch of mahi. They got really excited. On top of that, they got sailfish. We didn't see any blue marlin that day, and we looked for tuna, but we couldn't find any. But now coming up for Father's Day, we host the Trophy Husbands tournament. And with that, we're hoping to find some tuna, because we love eating fresh tuna on the boat. When we catch tuna or mahi, we cut it up, and the mates cook it, and we have hot mahi sandwiches for lunch. So there's still time if anyone wants to join us for Father's Day next weekend.
Tell me the website.
We got 2 boats available. It's CasaViejaLodge.com. You can check us out. The girls will be there fishing, and we're always welcome to have kids there.
Thank you, the whole Kristen Salazar group. We certainly love you guys so very much, and we appreciate you coming for the kids show. I want to invite you back for next year. You did good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Where are we going,
Thanks for
Bray?
having us.
I had to just talk to him. I didn't get a chance to talk to him.
Calm under the crazy. Speaking of crazy, this is Leo. All right, it's been amazing to see so many companies and organizations step up for young anglers this week, including Casa Vieja, ACR, Ameritrail, Alta Equipment, and Renew Promotions. And speaking of big energy, here's A.B. Raymond with the latest from the Casa Vieja Southeast region. Go for it, A.B.
Hey guys, how you doing? I got my buddy Mango. I might not have a really cute little granddaughter baby, but I got my buddy Mango right here. He's a bearded dragon, and he's 7 months old. He's a class bet. We got him hanging out. He wanted to say hi to all the kids in the studio and to Rick and Bree.
That's so cool. Thanks, A.B.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. I'm going to hand him off to my beautiful bride, and we'll get to talking fishing.
All right, tell me about the fishing, bub.
All right, well, thank you so much for having me back. I can't wait to tell our viewers my trick for getting kids hooked on fishing. I have the maturity level of a small child, so I do really well when I fish with them, actually. I take a lot of kids fishing, but the secret to getting them hooked is actually not taking them fishing. It's taking them catching. Kids need action. They don't care about the size. They just want constant bites. And in the Southeast region here, all you need is Berkley Gulf strips, just like Captain Rick was showing you. Any color is fine. You could also use Berkley shrimp or mullet in 3-inch or 4-inch. And let's rig up for those kids. The best kids rod is a 2500 Penn spin fisher with a 7-foot light action, ugly stick inshore carbon rod, in my opinion. Fill the reels with 15-pound Berkley X9 braid so they could feel every bite. At the terminal end, you want to fish 6 feet of 20-pound fluorocarbon leader. Slide on a 1/0 Eagle Claw 089 J hook or Berkley 1/8 ounce short shank jig head. Then tie on a 3-ounce lead with a loop on the bottom. Then slide your hook or jig head up about 18 inches from that lead and tie it off. So now you got a 1-inch dropper loop 18 inches above your 3-ounce sinker. Then just bait that up with a 1-inch strip, a gulp strip, or a shrimp or mullet. This way the kids can get to that spot. Just open the bail, drop the sinker straight down till it lays on the bottom. Tell them to close the bail and just wind it when they feel that bite. How do you get the bites, we ask? If it's calm enough in the Southeast region, you want to fish the first reef with the kids. All you need to do is go out to that 20 to 25-foot reef, drop them right there on any coral head or good piece of rock on a reef. And if the wind is blowing, take them to a bridge or a channel with fast current. Have them drop that same rig down and they will crush the fish. Pictured here is 8-year-old Sammy and his grandpa Sender with a cart full of fish we caught this week doing exactly that same thing.
You sure did. What else you got? Tell me about the trout.
Man, the trout are excellent for the kids, Ricky. As you know, they're still snapping up on the grass. The fishing's excellent for the kids right now with the trout. All you need is that same rod we just mentioned, 7-foot ugly stick, 2,500 Penn Spin Fisher. You want a popping cork, and you want 3 foot of fluorocarbon under that cork with a 1/8 ounce Berkley jig head and a 4-inch Berkley Gulf prawn, shrimp, or mullet in pearl white. And for the adults right now, we've been having Berkley Juke 100 mullet bites like crazy. It seems like bone is the color, but the Juke 100s have been hot this week. The flood tide has been the best tide, the incoming tide that is. And picture here's Eric with his son from this week with a big old trout. It just was on a 24-inch mark, and he caught him on a popping cork in pearl white with that Berkley.
I love his face. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Tell me about the offshore fishing.
Love that, kid. Yeah, the mutton spawn is on, and they're great for the kids. We caught them in the shallows this week. That's 90 feet of water mostly to 110 feet of water, drifting the ledges. We've been fishing dead ballyhoo on the bottom. Fish 40-foot leaders made up of 30-pound fluorocarbon with 7/0 Eagle Claw inline circle hooks. We've been catching them anchored or drifting. Don't forget to drop that single hook dropper loop rig we talked about earlier for the kids while you're doing that to keep them entertained and catching all kinds of fish while you're mutton fishing. Here's 8-year-old Sammy with a beautiful mutton from this week. He caught in 90 feet of water.
All right, one to go. Tell me about the tunas, bug boy.
Yeah, those football-sized blackfins are biting heavy in the afternoons. We've been catching them 250 to 350 feet of water, so that's deep. On the 200-gram vertical jigs in pink or glow colors, you want to fish a Penn Carnage rod or a Penn Slammer with a Penn Slammer 7500 reel loaded with 40-pound Berkley Pro Spec. You want a 10-foot, 40-pound fluoro leader. You want to drop those jigs down to the bottom. Remember, there's no wrong way to jig. You can hand that jig to the kids. Just have them lift the rod up and down and they'll get bites. That's 14-year-old Panos Midas with a chunky football blackfin he caught this week. And Captain Ricky, I hope you had an excellent birthday week, and I hope all our viewers will take a kid fishing this week.
Thank you so much, AB.
Thanks, AB.
Great tips this week. Thanks for the birthday wish. Look forward to seeing you soon. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the hot spots from the southeast Casa Vieja region. He says, inshore, the grass flats, they have been red hot for trout, snappers, ladyfish, and jacks, and have been chewing on the Berkley Gulp shrimp and white, the fish, the flood tides, and then offshore, 250 to 300 feet of water has been producing mahis and blackfin tunas, pitch or troll, 3.5-inch Berkley paddletail power stinger, high HD mullet under a frigate bird for the mahis, and drop a 200-gram vertical savage jig for those tunas.
So detailed, I love it. All right, the 45th annual Key West Marlin Tournament takes place July 22nd through the 25th during Hemingway Days in Key West, Florida. Last year's event paid out over $260,000 across the Marlin and Fun Fish divisions. Fish the famous walleye day, then enjoy all the food, fun, and island energy Key West is known for at night. Spots are limited, so register now at keywestmarlin.com. All right, from experience, there's just something magical about seeing the Florida Keys through a child's eyes, and this week's report has plenty of reasons to get the kids out on the water with Captain Ridge Murphy in the Black Oak LED Keys region. Your daughter's pretty cute on set here, Ridge. Go for it.
You know, taking a kid fishing is something that's always been a big component on the charter docks all throughout the Keys. From anchoring on the nearshore patches, fishing with light spinning rods with yellowtail jigs and a piece of shrimp, for a variety of different small snappers or grunts, to inshore trout fishing or mangrove snapper fishing all over the backcountry. When it comes to kids in the Black Oak LED region, we have a lot to offer. The main thing you want to do when it comes to taking kids fishing is keeping it simple. We don't know the difference between a bonnethead shark or a bonefish, and on the calm days, you can anchor up on the shallow patches and soak a chum bag drifting baits like shrimp or cut ballyhoo behind the boat to catch a variety of different small reef fish. And if everybody's got their sea legs, you can slide out to 60 and 90 feet of water, do some yellowtailing. On the inshore side of things, ladyfish, trout, mangrove snappers are your friend. A 1/4-ounce jig head on the bottom in the finger channels and around the islands can make your day. Keep a wire rod ready because every little kid wants to catch a big shark. And this is a good way to teach good mechanics on fishing, from sight fishing presentation to rod placement, pump and winding, and making sure that you turn the handle before you drop the rod, etc. I have a photo of my little girl Riley on her first boat ride.
Yay, there she is.
In a life jacket.
Yep. Keeping it kid friendly on the yellowtail fishing is still really good from 60 to 90 feet water. You want to look for them on the bottom machine and anchor, or use your anchor mode on your trolling motor to hold you in place and start chumming. Chum a mixture of frozen chum, sand, and oats, and one at a time drift light spinning rods with yellowtail jigs and cut ballyhoo or shrimp on a 10 to 12 pound motto with little or no resistance, tied straight to the hook. You remember 12 inches to the tip of the tail and 10 per person, and also keep them bottom rod down for that mutton snapper or grouper. And I have a photo of Hadley and Maylee Bender with a nice black grouper that Hadley caught while they were off of Islamorada yellowtail fishing.
I remember when they were babies the size of Riley, and now they're out catching big black groupers. That's awesome, bub. Tell me about inshore.
You know, in the backcountry, Islamorada and Key Largo, the snook fishing has been pretty good. You want to fish light to medium light Fenwick spinning rods on the edges of the flats and the potholes and finger channels and the moats around the islands with 4-inch Bass Assassin sea sheds in pink, white, or natural colors like Houdini or Opening Night. You can rig this bait on a 1/4 ounce or 1/2 ounce jig head or weedless depending on how bad the grass is. You can also use a live pin fish with a 5/0 Eagle Claw circle hook on 40-pound leader underneath a cork, throwing the bait up against the trees for some bigger snooks. Also inshore, with all the floating grass that we have right now in Florida Bay, the triple tail fishing has been pretty good. When you're running from spot to spot, look for the triple tails floating in the current near the floating grass, or even just by themselves, sometimes on the color change. You want to look for a gray or white or even an olive-colored fish in the waves, and you want to throw gulp shrimp, the new penny or white, with a chartreuse tail, and throw 7-foot HMG medium spinning rods with 10-pound braided line and a 30-pound fluorocarbon leader. You want to make sure to have a landing net with you. The last thing you want to do is lose a nice triple tail next to the boat. And I have a photo of Danny Vaughn with a really nice triple tail that was caught on fly with him and Captain Wiley Berg.
All right, bub. Thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the renewed promotions, hotspots from the Florida Keys. Ridge says that inshore, the backcountry snook and the baby tarpon fishing, it's on fire. Throw medium, the light Fenwick spinning rods with Bass Assassin soft plastics, 1/4 ounce to 1/2 ounce jig head, working the edges of the flats and around the islands. And then offshore, yellowtails and 60 to 90 feet of water, chumming with frozen chum, sand, and oats. Drift the baits like shrimp or cut ballyhoos behind the boat with no resistance for some nice yellowtails.
All right, if you're looking for some tournament action in the Florida Keys, there are plenty of great events on the horizon. Starting with the VFW Fishing Tournament, runs June 19th through the 21st at Stock Island with more than $50,000 in cash up for grabs, including $15,000 for the heaviest dolphin. Then June 25th through the 27th, sports fans and anglers come together for the UM Sports Hall of Fame, Fan Fest, and Celebrity Fishing Tournament in Islamorada. Also June 26th to the 28th, the Florida Keys PBA Charity Dolphin Tournament returns to Stock Island, benefiting the Police Love Fund and Autism Society of the Keys. And finally, registration is open for the Billy Knowles Memorial Poor Boys Tarpon Fly Tournament with fishing set for July 5th and 6th in Islamorada. For more information on these and other events, visit floridakeys.com. All right, up next, we are checking with Pat Deneen in the Panhandle region, so stick around and we'll be right back.
The Florida Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by Yamaha. Reliability starts here. Casa Vieja Lodge, 5-star angling in beautiful Guatemala. Fenwick, feel everything. Phillips, building the infrastructure that safeguards our future. Sportsman's Adventures with Captain Rick Murphy, fishing for adventure. Berkeley Pro Spec Chrome. And Taco Marine, driven by people, focused on you.
Well, some of the most excited anglers you'll ever meet are the youngest ones, and our next captain has watched generations of kids fall in love with fishing. Here's Pat Deneen with this week's Panhandle Report. Go for it, Pat.
Hey, Bree, it's great to see all those young anglers in the studio, especially when they're all fired up about fishing like they are. And it's really cool to watch the progression over time as they go from catching pinfish, catfish, or whatever, to targeting fish like tarpon or billfish or whatever they consider a trophy fish. And to get them fired up in the Panhandle, we got lots of tournaments catered towards kids or with kids-specific categories. In South Walton, they host a kids tournament every spring at Grayton Beach. Definitely just for the kids. The CCA tournament goes all summer. They got kids categories. October, the Destin Fishing Rodeo. Young anglers, they weigh a fish enter a fish in the tournament or the rodeo, and they walk away with a fishing rod combo. And then there's a lot of inshore charters that are catering to kids with a midday 2-hour trip, basically burning up the morning's bait and just catching whatever they can catch to keep them interested. And I think I got the best pick of the night. It's going to go to 2-year-old Oakland. He's showing off the pompano his family caught. Guided beach fishing excursion in Walton County with Brooks Reed. So how about that for a picture?
That's awesome. Good job, Pat. All right, what else you got this week?
Man, inshore, Rick, I was talking with Captain Justin Leake in Panama City. He was reporting a really consistent trout bite at first light. And then again, late in the afternoon, especially with a good falling tide, targeting the channel edges and the points where you have some good grass bottom that falls off into the deeper sand. They're chumming up and casting netting pilchards and then live chumming those pilchards, at their fishing spot, putting them on 12 to 20 pound leader with the bait either free lined or fished under a float. And he's reporting a lot of keeper trout in the 18-inch range. And I'm hearing real similar reports from the eastern parts of Choctawhatchee Bay. So that's been going well. Moving offshore, we've got about 2 weeks into our red snapper season. And depending on who you speak with, catch reports vary. But there are some very nice red snappers being landed. And it seems like the better fish are coming from smaller spots that may get less attention or are producing better catches on the full day trips, getting further away from the inlets. Using live bait on the Carolina rig or on the shallower spots, they're chumming and chunking the snappers up and then free lining a bait on 40 to 60 pound fluorocarbon leaders. And there's a pic there of a real pretty red snapper caught this past week fishing with Fanatical charters out of Destin. So that one's heading north, I'm sure.
Yes, it did.
And then, finally, Rick, last week we were talking about the king mackerels and how it's been hit or miss up here in the Panhandle. Well, we had a real strong blow, pretty much last week while that report was going on, and it seems to have pushed some good kings into the water up here, as well as some big Spanish mackerel, and they're catching them not just from the boats, but the piers are doing well with them also. Some of the smokers coming from the piers are 30 pounds or up to 20 pounds, so that's been very well. Slow troll or free line a cigar minnow or a herring on a 7-strand wire stinger rig outside the inlets or over some nearshore bottom structure. Most of the kings are schoolie kings, that 10-pound or so range. But there's a picture I got of a really cool shot of a big king being dragged off of Oak Loose Island Pier on Sunday. It's a long, happy walk for that fella.
Yeah, it sure is. That looks like some smoked fish dip to me going down that pier. But thank you so much for all the pictures this week. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the Bolivian adventures hotspots. He says inshore, take a kid to your inlet on the incoming tide and troll inside the channel edges with small spoons or lip plugs for steady action of bluefish, ladyfish, and jacks, and Spanish mackerels. Offshore, target some red and vermilion snappers on the natural bottom in the wrecks in 160 to 250 feet of water using live and cut baits. Keep your eyes out for maybe a mahi. What do you think, Bree?
I'm always eyes out for mahi.
Yes,
all right,
you
if
are.
you're cruising around Florida, why not give back to the waters we all love? Pick up a Conserve Florida's Fisheries license plate and help support clean water, habitat restoration, marine conservation, and coastal education. For just $25, you can help protect the resource for the future generations of anglers. Get yours at your local DMV or redfishtag.com. But we'd like to thank some of the amazing friends who helped make this kids show special. A big thank you to ACR, Also Equipment, Ameritrail, Bahio, Black Oak, LED, Keys Region. Don't go anywhere because we got Seize the Social and we're telling you what we're fishing for next week. We'll be right back.
Get ready to cast off into the world of adventure with our exclusive line of fishing shirts and hats, inspired by your favorite fishing shows. Designed for the dedicated angler in you, our high-performance gear is guaranteed to keep you cool and comfortable. Join the ranks of your favorite fishing pros and reel in the excitement. Be an insider, fish like a pro, dress like a legend. Shop your favorite brands of Sportsman's Adventures, Florida and Texas Insider Fishing Reports today at store.rmmedia.com.
Hey fish fans, tell all your fishing buddies that you can now stream your favorite fishing shows anytime with Pursuit Plus. Watch full episodes of Sportsman Adventures, Florida and Texas Insider Fishing Report on demand whenever you want. Whether you're looking for fishing action, reports, tips, or the latest conditions, it's all in one place. Sign up today at PursuitPlusTV.com for just $4.99 with promo code RICKPLUS and never miss another bite. All right, next week we are talking tuna. That should be fun. Make sure to tune in. Rick and parents, I know we're all trying to get the kiddos off the iPad and into the outdoors. So let's see how it's done in this week's Seize the Social. I know you're going to jump into the projects.
Okay.
Snacks while we watch. Oh. How many parents, raise your hand, had the Sea Rock in the house?
Oh,
the Sea Rock baby
goodness.
swing with the snack
The
tray and
rocking
everything.
chair.
Yep. That's the way to do it.
Hey, I want to know something.
He is YouTube. He's like, look at what I caught, little dude. That was cute.
I want
love
to
it.
know something. Do they
Yes?
make that in the adult size?
I mean, the kid size would be your size, so. I didn't say that.
Wow.
Oh, I'm just kidding. It's the kids show. It's kidding. Okay. What a special day it's been here at the Florida Insider Fishing Report. We love sharing the water, the stories, the craziness, and so many smiles with all the young anglers and families. As we recognize National Safe Boating Week, we hope every trip you take this summer is a safe one. Make sure to wear your life jackets. Rick, get the projects out. We need some snacks up in here. Help teach the next generation the importance of boating responsibly. Thank you to all the kids, all the parents who joined us today, and of course our partners at AFCO, Eagle Claw, Florida Coast Equipment, Mirror, Prior Fishing, Proshex, Renew Promotions, Skeeter, Starbright, Talcum Marine, Yamaha, and Captain A.B. Raymond for donating a half-day charter grand prize. Your support really helps support the next generation of anglers, and we appreciate all of you. So from all of us here at the Florida Insider Fishing Report, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you all on the water. Parents, did we have so much fun today?
We did. We really did.
Hey, kids!
This could have been the very best.
This was so fun. Look at all the kids. Get up and dance.
It's so awesome. Look at all these kids. Look at all the mamas. Thank you so much for the mamas and the
Have them
daddies.
dance. Everyone get up and get the wiggles out.
Get a dance.
Do the dance. We got to dance. Mike, Ronnie, get over here.
Come on,
and we
Mike.
want to say thank you
All
to
right.
Ronnie and Mike Holiday. Mike Holiday, Ronnie, thank you so much for being here. I know you're Mr. Bahio. We love to have the kids in the Bahio sunglasses. Look at all of them. Look at all of them. Dance, dance.
Look, dancing over there. They
Thank
dancing
you,
in the corner?
everybody. We'll
No,
be
they ain't.
seeing you next week and get those kiddos out on the water.
Bye.
This was usually where Kathy fed them all sugar and sent them all home with the parents. All wound up.